Okay. It says I'm live, so I'm going to trust it. How is everyone? I need a way to secure my hair. That's what I need to do before we start this whole party. Hot pie. Hot pie, we need hair ties. Happy Monday. Pie, you look so good in your basket. I don't know if I want to disturb her peace right now. I'm gonna leave her there. And I'm gonna find a hair tie, so you all hang tight. I'm going to move that. Oh, yes. And we're getting locked in like it's laser tag. Oh my gosh! Beatrice, Sarah, Tiana, Holly. Hi, beautiful people. You want to know a little story? I went to my barber the other day and she was like, I need to measure how long your hair is. And my hair is now 18 inches. Ooh. Thanks to my friend Beatrice who is in here. She's been like my spiritual guide for my hair. Hi, Denisha. Hi, Stephanie. Okay, I need this to connect to my AirPods, please. Please, connect. Right? It did just start. It just started going. Hopefully it'll get, I mean, it's pretty much butt, but I want it to be like butt length all the time, you know? Holy shit. Okay, Beatrice's hair is 45 inches. If y'all don't follow her on Instagram, just go to, I mean, not only admire her talent, but also that hair. Holy shit. That's amazing. Goals, honestly. Okay, I'm going to try to just take these out and put these in. So before we get going, again, like I said, today we're doing unusual inversions. What does that mean? It could really mean anything. I mean, you can do as much or as little of this class as you want. Because listen, the entire goal here is to just form this more intimate bond with yourself, to understand your own boundaries. Hi, Miss Shayla. So if that means you do a little bit or a lot of it, or you want to really push yourself, or if you want to, pull back and explore some other things, then please do that. Speaking of literally talented people in here, my friend Tiana's in here. She's a really amazing perfumer. And I love to burn her candle during class. This is her candle. One of her many candles that I own. Oh, so good. Well, it's not like her candle, but she designed the scent. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like my favorite movement ritual scent. Hey, Erica. Welcome from Switzerland. I'm praying for your Wi-Fi. I put the playlist at the very top of the chat. It's also linked in the post in Patreon. Hold on, just got to control this hair because now that it's getting this length, I mean, it really like wants to do its own thing during class. So we're going to try to contain it a little bit. No worries, Denisha. I just love that you pop in, even if you do a little bit of class, or even if you just say hello. So we're going to get into some funky positions, like I said, that will be close to the earth, grounded. I will link that candle. Yes, AirPods linked. Thank you, Jesus. Let me do it right now because we have time. I'm going to link their whole website. Boom. Seriously, like the sexiest smells ever in the whole world. All right. Now, just a little reminder. Grab your water. If you need to pee, go pee. Do those things. Because some of the stuff that we're going to do today is going to be real squishy in here. Very much impale thyself on yourself, if you know what I mean. All right. So I'm going to go to this playlist. Safe Word Power, such a perfect name for my vibe today. And we're going to get started kneeling. Now, if you don't feel comfortable kneeling, if your knees feel a little bit funny, you can always start seated. I'm going to actually like pull this fucker back a little bit. There you go. You can still see me and you can hear me. Okay. So again, kneeling. Whew. I just want to like do a little love for our feet real quick before we get going. All right. In this kneeling position, let your hands just rest onto your thighs. Give them a little love, a little appreciation, because these bad boys do a lot of work for us. I'm going to scoot my blocks to the front. And then we're going to take a big sweep with our arms all the way up above our head. Try to grab for opposing elbows. So you're in like this position, yeah? And then I want you to side body bend a little bit to the left. And side body bend to the right. Good. Come all the way back to center. Listen, come all the way up to standing on your knees. Tuck your toes. Release the hands onto your hips and have a sit. Again, big sweep of the arms all the way up to the sky. This time, take them into chest expansion behind you. Interlace your fingers. Press your palms. Lengthen through the arms if possible. And lift your chest. Look up to the sky. And then bring the chin back towards your chest. Release. Take it all the way up. Untuck the toes. And have a seat back on your heels. If you're not feeling a stretch in the top of your foot, my little offering is to lift up one knee. Sometimes I pop my ankles when I do this. So if you hear a little pop, Perhaps that's why. You can also lean back on both. I feel like I'm like on a little bobsled when I do this. Whew. All right. Let's bring your knees all the way back down to the ground. Sweep the arms up to the sky. Grabbing for opposite elbows, but try to remember which one you put on top first and try to kind of swap that energy a little bit. Take it up and over to your left again, just this gentle side body stretch. Up and over to the other side. And back to center. Come all the way up, standing on your knees. Tuck your toes. Release the hands onto your hips. Have a seat. This is our last little foot stretch, okay? They call this broken toe, and it's really no joke. If you just hopped on, welcome. I am fucking up with your feet. Adrian, hi, honey. Okay, babies, take it forward, and I want you to tap out your feet. Literally, make sounds. Tap them out. Spank your mat. Why don't you? And we'll arrange our hands like literally right underneath your shoulders. Spin the undersides of your elbows forward. Reach your chest forward. Inhale, breath. Exhale, round and contract. Good again. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Tuck your toes. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips. Feel that stretch into the calf muscles. Pedal out your legs. Lean a little bit side to side. And then settle right into center. Step your feet back a little bit. Make sure that your heels can't touch the ground. Draw the biceps by your ears, but still think external rotation. Elevate your heels, roll forward into a high plank position. Good. Keep the position of the shoulders right over the wrists. You should be really stretching through your feet. So you got hella flexion onto your toes. Bend the elbows. Take yourself all the way down to the ground. Good. Untuck the toes. Bhujangasana, low cobra. Use the strength of your back. Elevate through your heart. Minimal assistance from the hands. They could float up off the ground even. And then melt the chest. Good. Push yourself into tabletop. Walk the hands back a little bit. Tops of the feet stay just like this. Reach your heart forward. Inhale. Exhale, push into the ground round. Good. Again, inhale, reach the heart forward. Press into the tops of the feet. I'm sorry ahead of time. Float your knees up off of the ground. I love it and I hate it all at the same time. Now, not everybody's going to be into this unless you have like crazy dancer feet. We're going to try to do downward facing dog on our toe knuckles. Lengthen through the legs, lift up the hips, feel the stretch into the tops of your feet. If it's absolutely just like, hell no, Tracy, this is a non-negotiable for me, I don't do this, then bring the bottoms of your feet onto the ground, okay? Let's take an inhale here. Exhale, roll over your toes, coming back onto those big toe ball mounds. 3 breaths. Really press into the pointer fingers of your hands. And then we're going to take ourselves again back forward. Lift through the heels, contract, roll it forwards. Good. Hold that planche, really stretching through the feet. Arms are nice and long. Tailbone is nice and long. You're tucked and you're ready to fuck. Last 3, last 2, and take it all the way down to the ground. Sometimes I'm like, what did I just say? Oh, thank God I'm my own boss and that Paime is the HR department here. Low cobra, peel the heart space up. This time, let's all float our hands up off of the ground. Really activate through your latissimus dorsi. Those are those little wing muscles on your back. And release it down. Hands slide back by the ribs. Push yourself into tabletop. Left hand comes to the center, right underneath your face. Right arm is going to reach up to the sky. Now hold this open twist. This is really difficult. If your hips bump off center, try to take them back. Inhale, breath. Exhale, thread your needle. Take your shoulder. Move the left hand so that your ear can find the ground and feel this stretch. Which you may not feel anything at all. For some of us, it might be a really awesome opportunity to drive a little more space between your shoulder and your ear. Left hand, though, can create some nice stretching through the lat, which is what I'm going to suggest next. Left hand can creep its way to the front. Yeah? I like to stay up on spidery little fingertips here, and I wrap my pit down to the ground. If you're looking for a bind, left arm can wrap around your body, maybe even thread its way into your right inner thigh. I want you to hold this threading for 3. Good. For 2. Nice. And 1. Let's bring you back into your tabletop twist. Right arm is going to reach up to the sky again. Yeah, and then bring it down. Same thing on the other side. Right hand plants right underneath your face. Left arm reaches up. These are very difficult because the hips want to stay in one place, but the upper body is twisting. So get a little stabilization through the core. Let's take the left arm right underneath the shoulder. Drop it down. Create space so that your ear can also find the earth. And then feel yourself kind of slide a little bit forward like you're trying to turtle your way out. If that makes sense. Now, in your thread the needle, hand can stay in front of you. It can crawl forwards. Again, I like the spider fingertips. Feels really good for the lat. At least I think so. Yeah. Last 3. And let's bring ourselves all the way back up. Plant the right hand. Lift your left arm up to the sky. And return back into your tabletop position. All right. Let's tuck your toes. Float your knees a couple of inches up off of the ground. Widen out your stance in your feet a little bit. Right hand is going to touch your left thigh and come back down to the ground. Left hand, right thigh, and back down. Touch, replace. Touch, replace. Just a little more warm up for the arms. I know this is not fun. If you don't want to float, keep them on the ground. I'm okay with it. Last 5. Last 4. 3. 2. Keep your right hand onto your left thigh. Spin to the inner edge of your right foot and the outside edge of your left. Extend this left leg forwards in front of you. Push through the right foot. Get some space into your side body. Woo, you don't even have to straighten this right leg. It can stay a little bent. And I actually encourage you to vacillate between shapes and feel the stretches. All right, let's take it back. Think about how you got here. Swivel and swivel. Left hand finds your right thigh. Spin to the inner edge of your left foot, outer edge of the right. Extend out. Maybe you push all the way through. Maybe you sit and extend. Get your body used to the shapes. Be exploratory. And then take yourself back into that floating tabletop. Reach the heart forward, breath in. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Lift the heels. Let's bend the knees, look to the top, travel to the top. We'll start with hip width distance apart. Soft knees, roll yourself all the way up to standing. And roll out the shoulders upon arrival. Sweep your arms up to the sky, big inhale. And with your exhale, forward fold, take it all the way down. Now you can hang here, arms down, grab for opposing elbows. You can even grab for the toes or Pada Hastasana, hands to feet pose. Slide your hands, palms up, underneath the soles of your feet. So soles and hands are going to be connected if it's possible for you. If you're here and your hamstrings are feeling really nice and open, bend your elbows out to the side, pull yourself deeper to get yourself into that nice, flat, inverted position here. Good. 10 more seconds. Breathe. Notice if you're holding on in any way in your neck. Sometimes I don't realize that I'm doing it, but all I need to do is literally tell myself to relax in that space, and I can feel my spine decompress a little bit. Now, wherever you are, if your hands are just dangling or underneath your feet, let's take them out. Walk them up onto your shins or your thighs for halfway lift. Elongate the spine. I want to be able to balance my morning coffee right onto this low spine. Good. And then fold to plant your hands, step back into a high plank position. We're going to go through chaturanga, modified position if you want it. So shift forward, bend your elbows to 90 degrees. Knees can be on the ground. Low cobra or all the way up into upward facing dog. Push through the arms, open your chest. Breath in. Exhale, downward facing dog. Retreat and take it all the way back. Nice. We're going to pick up the pace a little bit. Lift your heels, bend your knees, look forward. Travel to the top of your mat. Hop, step. Maybe you're even feeling floaty today. Big toes touch at the top unless you're modifying for your own body. Halfway lift, inhale. And with your exhale, forward fold. Rise all the way up to standing. And with your exhale, let's go all the way back down, forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Fold to plant your hands. We're going back through our chaturanga again. Whatever version you need, whatever version you want. Reset, breath in. And breath out. Heels nice and high. Bend your knees. Travel to the top. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise to standing. Exhale, fold. Halfway, breath in. Chaturanga. Urdhva Mukha. Adho Mukha. Downward facing dog. Now let's broaden your stance. Walk the hands back a scotch. We're going to do a down dog twist. Right hand is going to find the outer part of your left leg, wherever that is. Along the thigh, along the calf, maybe even scooping underneath the heel. Keep stabilizing through your left shoulder. This will come back to haunt us. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's do the other side. Make sure your right hand and left hand are pretty even Stevens. And then push back through. Same exact thing. But remember, we can have really different experiences from our right to our left for a various amount of reasons. So focus here is activity in the shoulder and evenness and stability in the hips. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's bring your left hand back down to the ground. Step yourself back, getting a little bit deeper into that down dog again. Heels nice and high. Bend your knees, look forward. Travel to the top. Toes touch, half lift. Exhale, fold. Rise all the way up to standing again. Exhale, sit into a chair pose with hands at heart center. Now, depth is truly up to you, but I am going to be asking for depth, and more depth in this class. We're going to work for a twist. Left elbow can go between the thighs or to the outside of the right thigh. Block can add some more space for you if you need and still give you that level of intensity and even leverage. Hold in this prayer twist. I know it's a little intense. Last 3. Good. Last 2. And take that twist back through center and just over to the other side. So right elbow either between the thighs, to the outside of the thighs, or on top of a block. Yeah. This is nice. Yay. I love the block modification there. All right, last 3, 2, and let's take you all the way back to center. Forward fold. Halfway lift, I want your fingertips on the ground if possible. Exhale, crouch and curl. I'm gonna lift my heels, bend my knees, and round my spine. Really focus on pushing the tops of your feet to the front of your space. Sometimes I even like to wrap my arms around the fronts of my shin bones just to play with my balance. Last 3, 2, forward fold on 1. Chaturanga, feel free to hop back. Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, downward facing dog. Right leg lifts up. Open up your hip. Bend into your knee. Here's when I like to really anchor my left heel down. All right, my loves. I want you to keep the openness of this hip, but come forward into a high plank. Tap the right knee onto your right tricep, and then square the hip, reach the right leg back up to the sky. Right knee to left tricep, cross it underneath you, back up to the sky. Again, right knee, right tricep, back up to the sky. Right knee, left tricep, back up to the sky. Knee to nose, step it through low lunge. Warrior 1, adjust your back foot, heel on the ground. Stack shoulders above your hips, reach your arms up overhead. Lengthen your tailbone underneath you, creating that posterior tilt. Activate your left butt cheek by pressing into the outer edge of your left foot. Find an inhale breath. Exhale, take your hands behind you. Interlace the fingers, lift your chest. Inhale. Exhale, humble warrior. Right shoulder comes down to the right thigh, towards it even. It can float above it, or to the inside if you're feeling very open. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Let's bring it all the way up. Releasing your grip. Hands come down to the ground, square off the left leg. High to mid with Ekapada is an option. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Hip opens, knee bends. This is again where I like to try to get my opposite heel down to the ground. All right, keep the openness. Glide forward, tap left knee, left tricep. Inhale, leg to sky, square hip. Left knee, right tricep. Inhale, left leg high. Left knee, left tricep. Left leg high, left knee, right tricep. Left leg high, knee to nose. Make space. Think about stepping, heel first. Adjust the back foot, warrior 1. Shoulders above hips. And then I'm always correcting my pelvis. Always, always, always. Activate right butt cheek. Press into the outer edge of that right foot. It's also a really great ankle stretch. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring your hands behind you. Humble warrior. Lift your chest. Take it down towards the thigh. Good. Shoulder can also come to the inside of the thigh. And then I always think about swinging my hips back to center. One more breath in. One more breath out. And let's bring it all the way up. Arms up to the sky. Hands come back down, square off the right leg. High to mid. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing. Heels nice and high. Bend your knees, travel to the top. Halfway, and fold. Rise to standing. Whew. Chair position, hands at heart. Get your twist to the left, or to the right. My left elbow is going to my right thigh. And if you wanted to play twister right now, you would probably win. Let's take it back to center. Other side, right elbow, left thigh. Good, all the way back to center. And we've got two options. Take your forward fold. You can work through your crouching curls again. Or you can start to prepare the body for arm balances. Not harm balances, but arm balances with Bakasana, crow pose. So hands want to find flatness onto the earth. I like to lift my heels, bend my knees, just like I was doing with the other shape. But now I'm creating a space to connect knees to triceps. You gotta lean in order to create the shelf to prop yourself up on. Most people's fears here is that they're gonna eat shit and break their neck. I totally get that. If that's you, a block can be a place you aim your forehead. It's gotta be kind of far away though. But sometimes just something to touch your forehead to takes the fear out of it. Yeah. If you're feeling like, yo, crow pose is my shit, I'm here all day, every day, you can utilize this time to play with a little single-legged crow, maybe press up to handstand, come back down and balance. I'm not saying I'm trying to do that right now, but maybe that's what you want. You're here for 3. You can jump back or step back in 2. And 1. Mid-plank, upward facing. Nice. Exhale, downward facing dog. Nice work. Right leg lifts up to the sky. Open up your hip, bend into your knee. Take this right knee to right tricep. Bend the elbows to 90. Maybe you take off a little hurdlers. Yeah. And then take it back. Right leg up to sky. Right knee, left tricep. Let's kick it out to the side. Reach your left arm up to the sky. Fallen triangle. Hand comes back down. Right leg lifts. Knee to nose. Big step through. Low lunge. Rise up into your warrior 1. And let's take your hands behind you. We're not going into humble warrior. We're going to go into toppling tree. So lengthen out through the arms. Press off of your back foot and take off. It's like a chest expanded warrior 3. Balancing on this right leg and trying to find evenness through the body. That's why a screen is really good for me, because when I look at myself, I'm like, what am I doing? Okay, you're holding this balance for 5. You're going to start micro bending that standing leg in 3, 2, and 1. Big step back. We're going to go into a high crescent. And then we go into a warrior 2. Good. Reverse Trikonasana. Right leg lengthens. Right arm reaches up and back. Exhale, triangle pose. Shift the hips off center. Lean, 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 lean. And make your connection. Right arm down, left arm high. Notice there's really 2 ways that you can go about this. The way where you are unengaged and trying to go for maximum flexibility, or the one where you remain engaged and protect your joints, okay? Disengaged, engaged. Tuck your pelvis. I promise you can still reach goals, especially if you mitigate injury with proper technique. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Bend your standing leg or your front leg. And we're going to square everything off down to the ground. Right leg can step back, extend back, high to mid. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg lifts. Open up your hip. Left knee, left tricep. Make your connection. Maybe you bend the elbows. Take off into your hurdlers. Back leg wants to lift. Reconnect, left leg to sky. Left knee, right tricep. Cross it underneath, extend it out. Lift your hips. Fallen triangle. Long lines, come on. Hand returns, lift it back up. Knee to nose, big step through low lunge. Warrior one. Lift the arms up. Hands come behind. Make your connection, square off the back hip. Take off, topple. Focus, focus, focus. Last three. Standing leg is going to bend 2 and 1. Big step back. Open up into your warrior 2. Front leg is going to lengthen. Inhale, reverse. And then take it back through center. Hips knock a little bit. Engagement, engagement. Then work through the arms. Yeah? If your tuchus is sticking out too much, tuck it underneath for me. Triangle pose is where all my dreams go to die. So if you feel the same, great. Last 3. Last 2. Bend the front leg. Square yourself off. Move through high to mid. Upward facing. Exhale, downward facing dog. You can hold here for your rest. You can level it up with a little dolphin position. You can lower your knees and child's or kneel. If you are in your downward facing dog and you want to practice some inversions, please feel free to do that. That can look like your handstand hops. That can look like just about anything. If you're in that forearm position down, you can work your Pincha Mayurasana, and you can work that with a wall as well. I like to roll the flesh of my forearms to the center of my mat, turn my palms down, and I like to walk into it. No jumps. Think about always trying to push your shoulders back over the elbows. That's always going to be your recipe for success in that shape. That takes conditioning and time, but let that be your goal. Wherever you are, whether you're resting or working, because I want to rest right now too. We're going to be here for 10 more seconds. We're close. We're so close. Good. And let's head back. Downward facing dog. We've got our last big pieces. Come on, everybody, let's do it. All right, we're going to travel back to the top of our mat. So lift your heels, bend your knees, travel. Half lift and fold. Rise all the way up to standing. Chair position, hands at heart center. Now, we worked our crow pose into the last one. If you're interested in doing some side crow shenanigans with me, take your hands down to the ground, spin your knees to the right. You can still work your twisting position, and hang out. Now, my side crowers. Elbow makes connection onto the hip. Get your lean forward and your lift of your feet. One funky inversion that I wanted to add in here is called Fallen Angel, which you transition into from your side crow. Move forwards. Bring your ear down onto the mat. Lift your top leg up to the sky. Yeah? Pretty. All right, bring it back. And we're going to go to the other side. If you're just twisting, move over to your left. All of us will move our knees in that direction. Elbows make connection. Move forwards. Again, you can just work your side crow or turn your face. Bring the ear down. And turn the leg up to the sky. If you notice, my leg is turning internally, actually, now that I think about it. That made me trip out a little bit. Internal rotation to move it outwards and away from you. I know, it's weird. You're here for 3. You're here for 2. So good. Last one. Let's bring it all the way back. Again, you can move through your crow position, taking your hop backs. Final big flow, everyone. You can do it. You can do it. Right leg lifts. Open up your hip. Maybe drop it back behind you. Lift your hips up to the sky. Bring it back. Right knee, right tricep. Again, you can go for your hurdlers. Number 2. Right leg back up to sky. Right knee, left tricep for your kick out. Or your Visvamstrasana. Finding the top of the foot, compassing to the front of your space. All right, work it back up to the sky. 3-legged. Need to know, step it through. Warrior 1. Hands behind you, interlace. Lean forward off that back foot. Take off into your balance with the option of hinging forward, almost like a standing split. Keep holding, last 3. Last 2. And let's bring it back. Up into like a high crescent and open into your 2. Reverse Trikonasana. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. If you want it, my darlings, I'm going to offer up a little bit of a bind here. Bending into the front knee. Arms can come underneath, leaning against the leg. You can even go into a little fully bound triangle. Anytime our head is below our heart, we're in an inversion. Now, my binders that have this, rebending into your front knee, left foot can take a step to the front, birds of paradise, pick it up. And you can lengthen the leg up to the sky. Yee. Last 3. I know this one's mean. 2. And take it back to the ground on 1. Stepping back and escaping. Final flow coming. You got this. Left leg up to sky. Open up the hip. Option to drop. If you did that on the other side, lift the chest. And take it back. Left knee, left tricep. Final hurdlers if you want it. Left leg up to sky. I can't even tell you how hard it is to talk and do this. Left knee, right tricep. Extend down. Or Visram. Capture the foot. Kick out. All right, bring it up. Knee to nose. Step through. Warrior 1. Hands come behind you. Interlace your fingers. We're going to take off into that toppling tree, which can work forwards into like a standing split without your hands. Last 3. Last 2. And 1. Big step back. We didn't die. Open up warrior 2. Reverse trico. Oh, good. Triangle pose. Oh. Pi is just working her ass off over there, doing absolutely nothing. Now, if you bound with me on the other side, make your binds. You can also fully bind your triangle. Scary. I'm going to shorten my stance a little bit. I felt a little unstable. Now, my friends that did your birds of paradise, front knee bends, right foot steps, whole leg comes with ya. Leg extends. It's a lot for your right hip because I'm trying to stay tucked underneath me. Last 3. Last 2. And let's bring it back. Woo. Unbind. Chatta. Upward facing. And downward facing dog. Let's all take a child's knees wide, hips back. Even better. Embryo, knees together. Arms back by your side. Forehead onto the mat. And I just want you here breathing. Simple. Simple, simple. Do 5 more breaths. And I'm going to get my shirt ready for this next one. Ooh, I'm a little sweaty. All right. So from that embryo position or child's pose or whatever, bring yourself up. And then I want you to go into a tabletop position. I wanted to work peacock into our flow today because it's very weird. It's an unusual inversion because you're counterbalanced on your hands and you're planching. So let's come onto all fours. Take a couple cat-cows, a couple wiggles here. But I do want us to work in external rotation. Full peacock is only going to work if you can turn your hands in this way. But there are ways to kind of work around the ability to get the body off of the ground. So with the arms in this type of rotation, take a couple cat-cows. And I want you to remember what it felt like to have this major contracted shape. Walk the hands a little bit closer together and then bend your elbows. Think about bringing your tummy right onto those elbows. Toes are going to tuck. Lift up your knees. Grip into your fingertips. You can pick up 1. You can pick up 2. Maybe you lift. Now, if you're like, oh, TL, this must be a joke. Or if you're like, whoa, my wrists just don't do that, take a second, roll them out. Blocks can be really, really helpful because you are incredibly close to the ground. I love to use blocks, or even just one block, to give myself a little bit of leverage. So wrapping my fingertips around this bad boy. Yeah. Wrap, wrap, wrap. Elbows into abs. This is why I was like, Please go pee, everybody. Step back. And lift. Holy shit. I'm definitely going to decompress my wrist like this. Palms under shins. Because wow, that's a lot. All right. So if peacock happened or peacock didn't happen, it's all good. It happened whether or not your feet left the ground. I hope you know that. A great way to just get yourself more acclimated to shapes like that. You can even practice like this. Work your flexion, work your contractions. Let's go into downward facing dog really quick. That'll feel really nice after that. Hands find the ground. Lift the hips. Reducing the amount of flexion that your wrist just experienced. Right foot is going to take a big step outside of your right hand. Feel the hips dip down towards the earth. Get some space. Maybe you even roll to the outer edge of this right foot. Wing it out, drop the knee, open the hip. And then we're going to take this little leggy right here. Make sure you're lifted. Walk it over to your left hand. And then settle the outer edge of the leg onto the ground for half pigeon. You can kind of slide back into it or even anchor your right foot and scoot. What you don't want to do is shove the foot forward. It can get really weird for the knee and weird for your labrums and your hips, okay? I've watched too many very able-bodied people hurt themselves from really like small mistakes like that. So I'm always trying to give people those little reminders to be nice to yourselves. All right, you can work down onto your forearms or even get yourself flat to open up through the hips. Last breath. And we'll walk you up. Oof. Maybe take a second just in this lifted position. Really capitalize on the back bend. And then we'll work ourselves back into down dog, or if you have a preferred counter shape for all that. Yee. Okay. Left leg, big step outside of left hand. We're going for this big lunge. My knee is stacked above my ankle. It's not bad. It's actually really fantastic for your ankle mobility to increase the flexion. But for today, we're going to aim for somewhere above your ankle. I'm going to lower my right knee down. I know you can't really see it, but I'm going to use my left hand and kind of push to the outer edge of my left foot. Oh, it feels so good on my outer hip. My whole left leg has been a little silly since my last performance, so I'm trying to really get it up to par with my other side. All right, now we're going to work into our pigeon. So I'm going to get lifted here. Walk my left foot over towards kind of where my right hand is, and then settle the shin bone down. Again, remember moving backwards, anchor the foot, scoop back, yada, yada. You heard me the first time, but I'm just reminding you. And we can work you down onto your triceps, forearms. These are forearms. Sometimes I say the darndest things and you guys just laugh with me. So I appreciate that. All right, last breath. Whew. And we'll walk ourselves up, have a little moment. Ooh, just capitalize again on the back bend space. And then we'll push ourselves up and back. And you can take any little release you like. Yay! And then we're going to take our feet and take a couple big steps towards the top of our mat. All right. I said unusual inversions. I know I've already taught quite a few, but why not add on just one last one before we're all the way done? So I'm not quite in my widest position. My main goal is to see how much I can fold here. So if already forward folds are an issue, you can be right here and allow this inversion to decompress the spine. Say you're somebody that has some crazy hamstrings, yeah? Maybe we start to work some binds and things through the legs. So I like to bend my knees, get my arms under my legs, and practice a few times straightening out through the legs. Something that can get a little scary is the feeling like you're going to roll forwards. If that's you, practice this shit with a wall behind your back. Yeah? It can be really helpful. So if you are feeling really good and like you can get your body between your legs, let's try that a couple times. Kind of takes a little bit of a magic formula. I like to do a nice little full bind here. Make sure I'm nice and secure. And then play with lengthening through my legs. It's really nice to be able to look up at yourselves. I'm trying not to like cluster through my mic a little bit. All right, wherever you are folding or trying that between the legs bind, let's bring you down into a malasana. Lengthen out through your spine. And then let's bring you down to a seat. Legs in front of you. I'm now facing the back of my mat, but you can face wherever you want. Let's roll you down onto your back. And you can do legs up the wall or pike. And work into your shoulder stand. Hooray, inversions, yeah? Anything your little heart desires can happen up here. You can also bring yourself full fold. It's essentially the same thing that we were just doing earlier, except, of course, there's a little less fear about falling, right? One thing that's a little interesting that I tried once that maybe you'll want to try too, it's almost like working your birds of paradise, but here on the ground. I like to bring an arm through, do your bind, lift a leg. Pushing, 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 and then you can try the other side. So arm reaches through, wrap and bind, lift the leg. Fun. If you're ready, from whatever position you find yourself in, bring yourself down. And our final counter will be fish. Legs nice and long, arms by your side. Thumbs are going to tuck under your butt, palms down, forearms onto the earth. Push into the forearms, rebound off the ground, lift your chest, and look behind you. Top of your head can be on the ground, but if it is, there's very minimal weight. If you have more advanced versions of this, you can go for them, whether that's the pike, the arm reach. And then we'll untuck the chin, flatten our way down, open up through the arms. And create this giant X on the ground. If low back is protesting, bend your knees, lengthen the tailbone, even take a quick little Apanasana for a sec. But I want to give us a really nice moment here on the ground. Just to absorb all those good things. All of the lessons. Let your next breath get a little bit deeper. A warm awareness coming back to your body, to your breath, to where you are positioned in the room, outside, wherever you are. And start to create some movement, perhaps stretching yourself out, arching your back, rolling onto one side. And bringing yourself up to a seat. Express a little gratitude for yourself, for the space that you are in, and this exact moment that we all intersected together. Friends, thank you so much for taking class today. So great to have so many. Yeah, you're amazing. Thank you. I hope I get to see y'all again soon. Maybe later this week. Thanks, Stephanie. Oh. I feel like that playlist was like everything I needed too. Thanks, Jessie. We kind of did it all, didn't we? Yeah. Thanks, T. Thanks, Asher. Thanks, Emily. These are really fun. These are from Lulu. The whole inside is like orange. So when you bend over, it's like secret pumpkin butt. That was one of my favorite things about them when I ordered them online and then had them delivered. Surprise pumpkin butt. Thanks, Orabelle. Thanks, Shayla. Yeah, Adrian, so good. We really went through some of these crazy shapes. You know what we need? We need a dose of pie. Pie. You know what I did last time? I just like scooted her whole thing onto here. Bye, Adrian. Come on, Pie. We're going on a ride. Oh, a package is being delivered. I hope they don't look in here at this weird situation I just made. I know, Pie, you're not near the window. Sorry, I'll move you back. If you can't find the cat, 9 times out of 10, she's in this basket. I know, baby, we're going back. Hi, Tawny. I love you so much. I love you. Miss Pie, they love you. So quick upcoming things. Tomorrow I'll be working with Carson, Yoga Weirdos, 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. Thursday, we have our beginner's flow. 10 a.m. Had to think about that. Pacific. 1 o'clock Eastern. And then Friday we have Goth Bar, 5 o'clock at night Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Bye-bye. Yeah, you're so good, baby. We love you. All right, you beautiful humans. I am going to eat a little snack. I hope you all have a beautiful rest of your day. Thank you for doing that wonderfully challenging practice with me. I hope to see you again soon. If not this week, then next. Happy Monday. Kisses, besitas, and I'll see you soon.